I have a couple of emails with questions or topics to talk about, to respond to, whatever the word is. Yeah, I had a little delay getting started today, and I'll fill you in on that because that is a tech topic. I've got audio confirmation watching
DougBot said I'm working
SpeakerBot,
here.
and SpeakerBot is working too. They're both there. Me and SpeakerBot. SpeakerBot. Okay. Hello, everybody in chat who is here during the show. Let's see. I'm seeing 25 people watching currently. Say a quick hello to people. Let's go back. Get the beginning of it first. Oh, scroll up. Okay. John Williams, Marsman, Scott, there's some comments there about the trader. Martin and Rowan's laughing. Was the trader? There's a link in the description of the video for that. Alice Jones, Martin Hogg, hello, Marsman. For a moment of silence in memory of all those veterans fallen at Normandy D-Day, a true sacrifice of what freedom costs. If only our younger generation could really understand. Thank you very much for bringing us back to that. Marsman, I appreciate that. For a moment's sight, I'll ask everyone to be in remembrance in their own ways. Brian Lightfoot, thank God it's Friday. John Williams, are you happy it's time for Rowan and Martin laughing? Selden Ball, Phil Stodd, Charlie Purdy, Scott, Iran, Israel. Let's see, what are the names? Brian Lightfoot, Late Problems, Baby Beast, Problems with Big Beast, can't blame Ken Stout, he's at work. You're wrong again, Brian, you're wrong again. I can always blame Ken Stout. There does not have to be a reasonable explanation. I do not have to connect point A to dot B and say this is how and why Ken is responsible. I can just blame him for anything. The light when I was getting onto an on-ramp on the freeway this morning, the car ahead of me didn't go when they were supposed to go. I blame that on Ken Stout. Okay. Yeah, so what happened? I had this issue come up on Tuesday when I had my early morning Zoom session at 4:30 a.m. and then I left the computer on all the way up until stream time, and I have felt that there is a problem with OBS operations after a Zoom session, or potentially when I first turn Big Beast on in the morning and don't do a restart. So it's been my normal thing, turn it on and then get to the Windows desktop and do a restart. Seems to be more stable then. The situation that happened on Tuesday was when I subsequently did the test stream before the actual live stream. Okay, did that Zoom session, left the computer on, did a test stream. When I ended the test stream, OBS failed to end the local recording. It ended the stream, okay, but failed to end the local recording. And I said, dummy, my problem, user error, I didn't restart the computer. Is that really user error though? Should I have to do that? Now today, I had restarted, and I turned it on, restarted it, did not have Zoom, nothing to do with Zoom this morning. And my test stream did the same behavior, the same bad Doug behavior. Well, I did the test stream, hit the button to end the stream ended, but the local recording didn't. So I had to end task on OBS, then launch OBS. It's kind of a safe mode that it launches in, and then exit, and then launch again. And then I started the show. That's what happened today without preceding with those two things of a Zoom session and not having restarted the computer. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on there. That's not solved yet. Van Israel, energize, Doug, energize. That's because it's 2 minutes after start time and still no Doug. Oh, at least not that you could see. I could see. I just look right here on the screen. There's Doug. Hope feel better, John. That's what Ken is saying. Yeah, I don't remember what that was about. I am doing this, the mouse that does scroll correctly. Scanning through, looking at names. Looking for a name that I haven't said hello to yet. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Zavi Minor, there he is. Seeing this shirt for this. No, this isn't the first time for this shirt. It has, this shirt is a little bit, it's not really heavy, but since the weather turned warmer, I've been kind of not doing my shirts that are not quite as comfortable, but this is actually a very old shirt. Maybe not seen as often as the others. Jeff Raymond, hello. I don't know what that's about. What is he saying? Yeah, Lawn Dog, I'm not going to participate in your Windows 7. Monologue or whatever you're talking about. UG has OBS problems. I was thinking that there was a joke there of the 3-letter both start with a capital O. I don't know. That was almost a chuckle. I'm not going to give it to you. Okay. Now let's go get these email messages. Start with one from Brian, the Lightfoot. Position this a little bit. No email address exposed. Well, yes, it is exposed because it's in its name, but he's already authorized his email address is okay because he puts it out there himself. Subject up at the top, pinned apps on the start menu. Here's something that may be of help to Danielle. Yesterday she asked he wanted to know if it was possible to add more pinned apps to the Windows 11 start menu. The answer is the concept of grouping of apps so that they collectively appear as one folder with multiple pinned apps inside. Some people, including Microsoft, call these folders, and there's another use of the word folders, though, in relation to the start menu. We'll get into that. But they don't look like folders, but and the thing that they do use the word folders for does not look like folders. They don't look like folders, but rather the icon group will display 4 small apps. Even though there may be more than 4 apps inside that group, these groupings of apps looks very, very similar or the same as on an iPhone when you group apps together. A user can create a group folder by simply dragging an existing... What in the world?
That's all, folks.
All right, I got to go fix that. You're going to see a weird thing on screen here for a moment, I think. Where is that? In Atro. Then come back to here. Got to wait for that logo thing to finish before I leave this screen. Almost there. There. Okay, so then a user can create a folder by simply dragging an existing pinned app on top of another existing pinned app. Once the group folder is created, it can be given its own name. So let's just go right now and demonstrate that. Come down to the start button. Let's suppose these two apps I want to group together. Well, they are part of Microsoft 365, so that makes sense. Hold down the mouse button on one of them, drag it right over on top of the other one, and let go. Now that creates this thing. They're calling it a folder right here. Now, do I have any other? Yeah, here's Outlook new. I don't like Outlook new. All right, I'll go ahead and drag that in there too. But that's the idea. Okay. Now, if you want to put that back, if you want to take those out of there, you just open up this folder. Now here you can edit the name, so that changes the name of that folder. And enter, then come back down to here. So that changed the name of the folder. But now let's say I want to break that apart. We'll just take these and drag them back out. And go to the next one, drag it back out. And now they're all separated. Once you drag the second, if there's only two, you drag one out, well, that makes them both separate standalone apps now. But there's another thing available, another feature available that you might find useful. For example, all of the Office apps can be grouped together in one folder called Microsoft Office. There's a tutorial. Let's take and give you this in chat. Here's a screenshot of my own start menu showing a created group folder called Home Office. He's got that one right there, which contains all of the Microsoft Office apps as well as several of the Windows apps similar in nature functionality. Although my start menu of pinned apps may look small, it actually contains 34 apps. Okay, yeah. Now he may have more than 4 in that Home Office. They're only showing 4 in that element there. I guess I haven't tested that. Let me test that. Grab that one. Grab that one. Now here's the 4th one in there. Oops. Try that again. That one doesn't want to go in. Try that one again. I'll do it better. Yeah, there it goes. So now there's 5 in there, but this icon's only going to show 4. Oh, yeah, he's demonstrating exactly that. His Home Office folder has more than the 4. And there's his media players folder. He says, I seldom use the start menu and instead utilize the taskbar for most commonly used apps. Now let me show you the other organizational thing or that you might be interested in. If you right click probably not on an icon. Yeah, not an icon. Right click anywhere on the start menu. You get this thing start settings. Now before I should point out this area down here, this is going to change. What we're doing now is changing this area. So going to start settings. Down here on folders, see, here's the word folders. But are they really? Are they really when you see what these do? All of these items here. If you want to tinker around with them, just try them all. The one that I found to be actually surprising was this one called personal folder. Where do you think that's going to go? Where do you think personal folder is going to go? So I've turned all of those on. Now come back to the start menu. What that's done is that's created all of these icons down here. So this is just a different way to launch things. Ran Israel, exactly correct. It's the user's profile. Now this says documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos, network, personal folder, file explorer, and settings. So personal folder, I kind of find that convenient. As a technician, I sometimes want quick, easy access to that, and I like that. So anyway, that is another level of organization. You know, the point system is still a work in progress, but Brian did an exceptional job of putting that email together, doing some research, doing some screenshots. So this is called Solving Issues from General Audience. It was asked by Danielle Emberly. Points awarded 5,000 points. The trigger, solving an issue brought to Doug via email, video comment, or during chat room discussion. That's exactly what it was. So that is 5,000 points-a-roonies. Because I want to really emphasize the tech conversations, right? So that gets lots and lots of points. Now, I don't actually have that. What did I say? 5,000? Yeah. I don't actually have that on a button yet. It's coming. It is coming. So I put in the point value and then press a button. 5,000 smackaroonies, Brian. Well done.
Read chat, please.
Says, wow, I'm rich. Now I can afford a cup of coffee. Martin Hogg says, when did you give a detailed explanation of the various types of Macrium backups? I'll watch it again. Okay. Okay, Martin. That gets a laugh out loud. I don't think you were intending to make me laugh, but that gets a laugh out loud. Clearly. Really? Martin says, Doug, why did I get a laugh out loud over that? When did you give a detailed explanation of various types of math? He doesn't say, Doug, do you remember when you gave? He didn't say, can you give me a link of when you gave a detailed He's saying, when did I? He is assuming I have personal memory recollection of what I talked about on every one of my prior videos. Now, how about I could give a more generalized answer, I guess. I could do that. Here's my answer. Martin says, Doug, when did you give a detailed explanation of various types of Macrium backups? I'll watch it again. I.e. full image, incremental, file and folder, etc. Thanks. I can answer that question accurately by saying, Martin, I gave that detailed explanation during one of my live streams. Ba-dum-ba. That's an accurate answer. It's a totally correct answer. I can't tell you what show that was. I do have development plans for my channel that in the future I would be able to do that. And I don't think it's searchable. Let's Macrium backups.
Read chat, please.
Let's see if we could do this. Martin says, I know you're so efficient. Let's see. I did give you the points for the laugh out loud. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Search Live Windows Training. DougBetts Macrium. Is Google good enough to find that? How to create a full image backup for free using Macrium. I don't think I discussed the various different methods of backups in that. If rather than me, I'm tempted to just give you the full description of them now, but do you have a specific question, something you're trying to accomplish? Or do you want to know the difference between differential and incremental? Because it's not a big deal to just say it again. Guess I will figure it out, start menu, when I have to do
Read
it.
chat, please.
Yeah, Danielle's question was because she likes the Windows 10 start menu. So my response and reaction to that was maybe there's features about how the Windows 11 start menu works that you will like. I have had a number of things where clients have said that they don't like Windows 11 for this, that, or that reason. And when I get their specific reason, then I can say, oh, well, did you know in Windows 11 you could do this? And then they wind up saying, oh, I like that better. Lana Dro, hello. What to do with points? How do I get them? Oh, Lana, you get points simply by participating in chat. First part. This list of participants. This list shows everybody who has had a chat message during the last 5 minutes. If you go dark for more than 5 minutes, you fall off of this list. As long as you're on this list, every minute, StreamerBot will give you 50 points for every minute that your name is still visible on this list. So you want to have something in chat within every 5 minutes. And my strategy for making it do that, I configured that. My strategy for that is YouTube algorithm likes to see engagement, activity. You can also get points for doing things like making Doug laugh, asking a tech question, asking a technical topic question will get you points, or providing a technical answer. And there's some other things, but that's enough for now. So if you just type !points in chat, you will see how many points you have right now. And then there's a leaderboard in development. It's not ready yet, but all of the points that you accumulate during each show will come back to haunt you. You will see them they will add up over time. They're not redeemable. Same like when if you're a football player or a basketball player, they put all that effort into scoring points. They can't buy anything with those points. They can't redeem them at the gift shop. They can't do anything with those points. It's the reward is not at the end. The reward is the journey. Accumulating points. What to do with them is to accumulate them. Those everybody who plays sports, even my grandson playing soccer or baseball, puts all that effort into coming into home base. And his team gets points, not him. Can't spend them. When didn't he? I don't know what that was about. Okay, I need to move on. What is this Wintermute's providing? Oh. well, there you go. Wow. Wow, Wintermute, that was really impressive. Solving issues presented by Doug. No. Man, that was pretty impressive for you to come up with that. I'm gonna hit you up 5,000, dude. I don't care that you don't want it. Good one. That's a good one. Wintermute's post at 9:24, and Brian did a read chat, and I didn't catch it at the time. And that is also, Brian is a production assistant. We'll call that. That's 200 points for helping out the Doug with pointing out something that I want to see. Scanning. Hello, Greg M. Bill Stodd, Parker Morse. Yeah, he said that before about Sunday. I don't know what's up with Sunday. Hmm. I don't know what that's for. For those who want the opportunity, free hot sauce. Show up, make a comment, and win. There you go. Recommendation from Lon Dog. Oh, Danielle used to. Oh, there we go. Used to do car rallies. Spent a lot of money to win a cheap trophy. But did they give you points or just the trophy? I mean, if they just give you a cheap trophy and don't give you points, then my show is better. I'm going to give you points. I'm not going to give you no cheap trophy. C-cell. Further examination. The video explores the backup types for baby beasts. Not sure it defines those types. Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, production assistant. PA. Okay, I've got another email I got to get to. Set it up here. This is from Craig Wilson. He has previously approved his first and last name. We've had emails from him before. His description at the top, stop the noise, or his subject line, stop the noise. Craig Wilson, I've got an issue
Read chat, please.
that may be useful for your show. Yeah, maybe you're right, Payne Lightfoot. Brian Lightfoot. In response to his read chat, please. Okay, back on track. I've got an issue that maybe you, no, wait. I'm going to take that off screen for a moment because I'm going to start a reply to him, grab a video link, and then paste that there. Okay, so that is ready to go. I've got an issue that may be useful for your show. One of my systems is driving me crazy with the sound of USB devices connecting, even when I'm not connecting anything, and then makes the sound of unplugging a USB device, even though I'm not unplugging anything. What I've noticed is that it only makes these annoying sounds after my monitor goes dark. In my power settings, I have a monitor to turn the screen off after 2 hours. In my power settings, I have the monitor set to turn the screen off after 2 hours. However, fix the wording in your own brain. Not long after the screen goes dark, it begins making these annoying sounds at random times. I have gone into the device manager and unticked the box that says, allow the computer to turn off this device to save power. But it had absolutely no effect. Now, he doesn't tell us there which device driver he did that on. Additionally, I have made sure all the drivers are up to date. Presumably, you might think that it was the monitor that he did that on. Probably. All the drivers are up to date. No bang symbols are showing. Somebody's using my favorite term, bang, for the exclamation mark in Device Manager. I only have 2 USB devices connected, an external SSD for my backups, and a USB speaker. It's something I can live with, but it sure is annoying. Craig, my first thoughts here is it probably has to do with your specific monitor. Hang on a moment. And I'm thinking your monitor is a USB hub of its own. Does it have any USB ports on it that you could connect a USB device to? Does it have speakers included in it? Does it have a webcam built into it? Those are all USB devices. And even if you don't have a USB cable connected to the computer, if you have an HDMI cable or DisplayPort cable that can carry the USB signals, then that may be how they're going through. And so however you're doing the power management and that particular monitor in your particular computer and the drivers involved, something is misbehaving in terms of it. The power setting should just turn the display dark without disconnecting the USB hub that is essentially contained within that monitor. So what you may need to be doing is to, let's see, if we go to device manager here, consider items in your USB serial devices. Maybe just go down the whole list, find anything that has a power management and remove that check mark for allow the computer to turn off this device. Then let's go on to some other things. So I asked Gemini to add some additional thoughts, and I just pasted his question here. I have an issue that may be useful for your show. Just pasted the exact email. And here are some things that Gemini came up with. I'm not going to read through the whole thing out loud, but I will pause at each portion of screen so that anyone who chooses to can read some more content. The AIs always do a much better job of putting together a lot of information, although sometimes they're wrong. Lots of times they're wrong. What you can do, so here's some suggestions of what to do from its point of view. Check power management for USB hubs and pointing out this similar thing that your monitor probably has some USB capabilities. Even if you don't have any USB devices connected to your monitor, it's still functioning as a hub, and that alone is a USB device. So then, and also in here was updating your chipset. Yeah, updating chipset drivers. While you've updated your USB drivers, the core communication with USB devices is handled by your motherboard's chipset. Outdated chipset drivers can sometimes cause power management. It gives some information about how to find it. And then I think it also, did it also say check on a BIOS? Check on a BIOS update. I would also want to do that because the BIOS is controlling how your computer communicates with Windows. Let's go see what these read chat pleases are. Domain 2000, connecting, disconnecting a monitor cable will make the same USB sound. Yeah, that's a good way to troubleshoot it. Yeah, it is troubleshoot it is disconnect and reconnect that video cable and see if you get that same disconnect and reconnect sound. So just as a troubleshooting point, you're saying, yes, this monitor does make that connect and disconnect sound. Although just as a monitor, that'll happen as well. Even a monitor that doesn't have any USB connections is gonna, I think, is gonna make that sound. So that's participating in the tech conversation. So I did that. Points for Domain 2000. There was 2 read chats. Phil Stodds also has a read chat. The monitor does not require being USB compatible for that notification to sound out. Just turning on the monitor will give the notification. Are you referring to that sound as the notification? Oh, okay, yeah. I get you. You're kind of saying what I just inferred. The monitor doesn't need to even have any kind of USB. It could just be the monitor itself. Now, the reason why I was inclined to think it's USB rather than the monitor is because he's already had Windows turn the monitor off. He's told the monitor to turn off. So the connection disconnection sounds after that. I don't think the monitor is the monitor because the monitor's already off. So it wouldn't be the monitor coming back on and off because it's already turned off. Now, here's another thought that I had though, is that some monitors, if you use the physical buttons on the monitor and explore through its menu system, I have seen monitors that have power management features within the monitor itself. So if Windows is doing that timeout for the display, and the monitor itself is also timing out, it could be that, for instance, if your mouse gets bumped or your keyboard gets bumped, maybe the monitor power is coming back on, even though Windows isn't coming back on.
Read chat, please.
And that's kind of spitballing here, but there may be something going along, something along those lines. Phil Stodd, let's throw you some points for participating in the tech conversation. Let's see, I think there was more than one recently. There's this one from Phil. When I have my monitor turned on and turn on or off the monitor will sound like a
Read chat,
USB
please.
connection. Yes, I have come across that too. And I'm not sure how consistent that is from one brand and model monitor to another. I doubt that there's any standards, published standards,
chat, please.
monitors. You must do your power management this way. You must do your beeps and boops this way. I doubt that that is any kind of a standard that they all have to comply with. When I have my computer turned on and I turn on or off the monitor, it will sound like a USB connection. And are you implying, Phil, that your monitor does not have speakers built into it, does not have any USB ports that you could connect a USB device to, does not have a webcam built into it? Are you implying that your monitor is only video? Check Event Viewer to see if there's a problem with any devices.
Read chat, please.
Problem with any devices. I suppose, because you can nail that time. So that might be solid. I would not have thought of that, but you're participating. Thank you. Doman, here monitor turned off is not the
Yes,
same
sir.
as
Easy, Bob.
total disconnecting cable, but can depend on monitor type. A sentence starting with the word here. Here, have. Maybe he meant have. Have monitor turned off is not the same as total disconnecting the cable. Yes, of course. Yeah, agreed. Because there's still communication between the computer and the monitor, even if the monitor is turned off. When a monitor is turned off with a power button on the monitor, or the Windows turned it off, that monitor is still connected to the computer can still see it. Phil has sound through external speakers. That doesn't mean your monitor doesn't have speakers built into it. I do that also. I use external speakers for my sound, but every one of my monitors do have speakers built into them. I just don't use them. The computer still sees those speakers. So the fact that you're using external speakers does not mean that your monitor doesn't have speakers built in. Domain saying try another cable.
Read chat, please.
I would think if it was a cable problem, then he would be having a problem while he's got the monitor on and active. Yeah, Phil saying his monitor is video output only.
Read chat, please.
My My LTC computer is working okay with my Intel PC, but stopped working with my AMD PC with last month's Windows update. Looking forward to the June update. Are you asking a question here? 13 minutes at overtime, Daniel? Please ask questions earlier. My LTC computers, what's LTC? Working okay with my, is that a brand name? I don't know. Working okay with my Intel PC, but stopped working with my AMD PC with last month's Windows update. Looking forward to June update. LTC keyboards. I guess that's a brand name for keyboards. So I don't think it's actually a question. She's just saying, is the keyboard stopped working? I'm having difficulty understanding this. Okay. Daniel, if you actually have a question there, bring it up in the next time you're in at the beginning of the show. I'm not going to take on that now. Change the default Windows event sounds. The use of selecting none to a specific event. Well, wouldn't that cause a problem with, then he wouldn't get notified for other USB disconnects that he wants to know about? Unplug monitor from system. If it's a laptop, see if it's still acting through the built-in monitor. Yeah, he didn't actually identify, did he? If that's okay, I need to stop. I need to stop taking more comments, because you could just keep going on and on and on. We're in overtime. End. Stop it. One of my systems. He didn't say laptop. I think it's pretty reasonable to say this is not a laptop. All right, so we've thrown out some stuff there. Craig, I hope that's useful. Let us know. Give us an update, please. Danielle. Oh, Danielle says, not a question. Just that brand of keyboard is a problem. Just another USB curiosity. Okay, I get it now. I get it why you throw the, you weren't intending to ask that a question, but it's kind of on similar on point what we're talking about. Thank you. And I have a redirect for Carrie's show. I'm looking over here, my button's so long because I got to be sure to press the right button, because you know sometimes I don't. Have a great Friday, everybody. Catch
That's all, folks.
Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team. For Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in 6 days a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team.